Hi everyone, this is Kassie and these are the weekly tarot horoscopes for the week of October 17 to October 23rd. Our deck for today is Nicoletta Ceccoli's Tarot, and this is a very dreamlike deck with layer upon layer of moods and symbols and colors. This is a very different deck, and you will need to use your intuition a lot with this one. If you want to check out last week's predictions, you can always click on the link above. And if you enjoy my videos, please share, like and subscribe, and hit the notifications bell so that you don't miss anything that comes up. If you want to find me for a more personal and detailed tarot reading, you can always call me on my psychic platform www.cassiekai.com, and you will also get 3 free minutes with your subscription to use them in your first psychic session. For those who haven't noticed, I no longer post the card of the day on Facebook. I do it here on YouTube. So every day you can watch a short video with a description of the energies and of the vibes of each day. For Aries, we had the 7 of Cups and now it's the 9 of Pentacles. The 7 of Cups is an unfocused energy, which at the same time shows options and different possibilities we are exploring. So maybe last week you were exploring different things, you had different ideas, or you were presented by different opportunities, different options. And for some of you that could have been a little confusing or overwhelming if you were considering too many things, different things at once. Now this week you have the 9 of Pentacles, a very grounding energy. The 9 of Pentacles is an earth card and it shows that you are producing solid results. So if things have been all over the place, this week you will start seeing real progress. And the 9 of Pentacles is especially good when it comes to financial matters, practical matters. But it's also good when you want to make a relationship more stable. The 9 of Pentacles is basically a card of confidence. That's why you will feel very confident about your decisions, about your choices, and the progress you've made. Keep in mind that 9s are often solitary cards, and what this means is that you may find yourself in need from some privacy, some space this week, particularly if a relationship has been difficult and confusing in the previous days, and you may decide that it's best for now to focus on yourself and on your own needs. If you want to know how someone feels about you, it appears that they are seeking security within your relationship and they do feel secure to connect with you. That means you are giving them something that makes them feel confident that the relationship can last for a long time. Now, maybe that means that at times you may be too accommodating for them or too nice and they are taking things for granted. If that's the case with you, you may want to consider your own needs and how and if those needs are met within this relationship. The 9 of Pentacles is Venus in Virgo, and Venus represents the way we love, represents our emotional connections, our relationships, while Virgo is very organized, very practical, very down to earth. So this week you will take things seriously when it comes to love. And maybe that's exactly what is needed if you feel that someone is playing with you or with your feelings, consciously or not. The 9 of Pentacles puts your focus on the end of the week, and something that happened between the 2nd and the 11th September will now reach a more stable stage. For Taurus, we had the 9 of Pentacles and now it's the Hermit. The 9 of Pentacles you had the last week is a very grounding energy, very stable energy, and it's very good, very beneficial for resolving practical issues, either in a relationship or in a professional setting. 9s are usually solitary, which means that we draw our energy by being detached from the world, detached from social interactions. And it appears that the same trend continues this week with the Hermit, and you will get more introspective, desiring some time by yourself to explore an inner issue maybe and to find a solution. And you will find the solution you seek by connecting with your inner self and with your deeper needs. So try to do that without asking for too many opinions. It's possible you will decide to take some distance, or someone else will get distant because they are trying to figure out what they want to do, and that can bring a break in communications or a break in a relationship. But under the energy of the Hermit comes clarity, come new insights, and you are hitting the pause button, and you will be creating a conscious space inside that will allow you to do what is best for you. The Hermit is associated with Virgo, and there might be a Virgo sun or ascendant person in your life who's very analytical and insightful, but at the same time you may find them too demanding because Virgo people often have too high standards. So this is a good time to explore and reassess whether your expectations and standards are on the same level. If you want to know how someone feels, they are reserved and they are not opening up at this stage. They are reluctant to go ahead with a deeper connection because they are not ready yet. They are thinking about all those responsibilities and obligations that a relationship has, and that turns them off at this stage. In around 9 days from now, this situation will change and shift again, and you will also have gained new knowledge, new insights that will help you understand where you stand better. If you're dealing with a situation that you don't know how to resolve, this week you will get help from someone who's much more experienced than you, and it could be good to listen to what they have to say and follow their advice. For Gemini, we had the Six of Cups and now it's the Tower. The Six of Cups you got last week is a sweet energy, a very positive energy, and it shows connection, it shows people or situations from the past resurfacing. So maybe you were dealing with an ex, or an ex resurfaced, or the past in some way was influencing your situation, your life, and maybe some of you found yourself a little stuck. But that's changing this week with the Tower. The Tower is usually a disruptive energy. It's an energy of change, surprising change at times, particularly if there has been a situation that's dragging out for too long with no change, and you're feeling fed up. You know that you need to make a change, but you are unable to do so for many reasons. And in such cases, at times, life will intervene and you will have an unexpected realization, or something will happen out of the blue. For instance, you may decide to take disruptive action, to walk away from a situation, or to block communications. That's good, especially if something wasn't working and at some point you felt that you were wasting your time with someone or with something. If you're wondering how another person feels about you, there must have been a drastic change in their feelings because they suddenly realized something that they could not see before. And that could work either way. So if they were uninterested or unresponsive, you will find that now they become more active, more responsive, but also the opposite. So this Tower energy will play out according to your personal experience and your current circumstances. The Tower is associated with Mars, and Mars is a very active energy. That's why this week you will feel like taking action and you will be unstoppable. I will also remind you that Mars always loves to fight, so the risk of fight is really high for this week. And if you find that someone is pushing your buttons, try not to respond immediately, because that could lead to a big fight and a big disruption. In around 15 days, you will see that the situation is changing again. So while this very high energy is still around you, try not to make drastic changes or serious decisions. Allow the energies to settle down first, and then you will be in a better position to decide what to do next. For Cancer, we had the Sun, and now it's the Eight of Pentacles. The Sun is one of the guiding lights in Tarot, and for 3 weeks in a row, you had a very strong connection to all the cosmic energies that are going on around you. And now, after 3 weeks, you have an Earth card, the Eight of Pentacles, a card of stability, of grounding energies. So this week you will be able to see things realistically, and you will be making plans for the coming weeks or for the coming months. Now, someone may come to you with a request or a demand, or someone will ask you a favor. I suggest that you don't say yes immediately, because what they ask might be something that you are not really ready to do or to give. Or perhaps other responsibilities and obligations you have may not allow you to do so. And perhaps you will work with someone you've worked in the past, and that doesn't necessarily mean a professional situation. It could be a relationship. It could mean that you are making efforts to make a relationship more solid and more stable. If you want to know how someone feels about you, you will notice that they get more committed, more stable, more reliable, and they want to have something serious with you. They are thinking about the future, they are making plans about your future together. So if you two are interested in the same type of relationship, you can now make the necessary adjustments in order to take your connection to the next stage. The time period between the 23rd August to the 1st September must have been significant for you, and you will now experience the completion or the end of a stage of things that happened around that time. And it's very possible that something that was blocked back then will start to move forward again now. The Eight of Pentacles is the Sun in Virgo, a very positive energy for career and money that will help you get things done in an efficient way, and you will probably get news this week on those areas of your life. The Eight of Pentacles often represents a gift that you have or a skill that you haven't mastered yet, and you will start a process of doing so. For Leo, we had the King of Pentacles and now it's the World. The King of Pentacles represents the practical aspects of our life, our commitments, our responsibilities, our obligations, but also our professional life, our finances, and also someone in your life who's an Earth sign or ascendant, male most likely, Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. This person must have played a role in your life last week or was involved in any of the aforementioned areas of your life. For this week, you got the World that marks the end of a stage, so something will be completed successfully this week, and it will probably be a turning point in a professional or personal relationship. The message of the World is often that the situation has gone as far as it could go. Or maybe something in your life runs in a loop and the same thing is repeated again and again. Whatever the case, the World provides the potential to take something to the next level or to see it through to completion in a very efficient and beneficial way. For some of you, the World is a long-distance relationship, which maybe had some serious ups and downs lately. So maybe you're planning to travel and resolve those issues, which is actually a very good idea, because it will open up new possibilities and options that you couldn't see before. The World card is associated with the planet Saturn, the planet of karma, and the planet of lessons. So there might be a karmic event or a karmic intervention this week. And look for things, for events that appear to be fated, synchronicities, signs, and it's good that you follow those signs. Take note of the messages that life offers to you. If you want to know how someone feels about you, they feel that a new cycle begins in your relationship. Also, they are making new plans and they're looking forward to the next stage. Also, the World is an inclusive card, an inclusive energy. And that shows a mixture of different feelings depending on the circumstances and the conditions of your connection. In around 3 weeks, 24 days from now, a very significant event will happen, an event that can be considered fated, and some very interesting energies will play out around the beginning of November. For Virgo, we had the Temperance and now it's the Queen of Wands. The Temperance is a card of slow energies, a card of delays, so maybe you experienced some delays last week, or things you were expecting didn't happen, and that must have caused some frustration, some impatience maybe. But now things are changing because the Queen of Wands is a fast energy, a fast card, high energy card, and developments will start picking up, progress will be faster. And this can touch many areas of your life. The Queen of Wands could refer to your sexual life and how things will get more intense in that area. But it's also our social life, and you may be invited to social events. There might be a round of social activities that you will need to attend. Maybe you won't have the time or the energy to attend those meetings, those events, but it's good that you do because that will somehow affect your standing and your reputation within a particular social circle. This is a week that you won't rely much on other people. You will take initiative, you will make choices, you will make decisions that need to be made, and you will probably make the best possible decisions for all people involved. Try to remain confident that you know what needs to be done. Don't second guess yourself. Don't ask for too many opinions. If you want to know how someone feels about you, there is sexual attraction. It's very strong. Their feelings are warm. They are positive. They find you very attractive and they feel very drawn to you. They will show you that they like you, that there are feelings involved, because the Queen of Wands is a card of action, so it's not just the words or thoughts. The Queen of Wands could be a fire sign or ascendant person in your life, usually an Aries, but it can be a Leo or Sagittarius. And there might be a heated conversation with that person. They can be very stubborn or opinionated, which means that you may lose your patience with them. You may lose your temper, and in order to avoid that, try to deal with them diplomatically or set boundaries if you have to. Within the coming 2 weeks, there will be some very interesting developments in your career, and if you've been dealing with problems at work, this week issues will be resolved, and that will happen with the intervention of a woman in a position of authority. For Libra, we had the Six of Pentacles and now it's the Chariot. The Six of Pentacles you had last week is a deal, an agreement that has the purpose to bring more stability and to make a relationship or an interaction more equal. So perhaps last week you made a deal with someone, either in your personal or in your professional life, that allows you to experience a more harmonious and a more fair connection with them. The Chariot you got this week has a similar energy in the sense that the Chariot has 2 different horses, each one looking at different directions, and the charioteer is using his willpower to control them. So this week you will be dealing with some contrasts between you and another person, and those contrasts can be reconciled if both of you are willing to make some compromises, to apply self-control without replaying and repeating old patterns that have caused problems in your relationship before. And I'm talking either about personal or professional situations. If you want to know how someone feels about you, they are trying to control their feelings, which means that they do have feelings for you, but for some reason they prefer not to show them. The Chariot is associated with Cancer, and the Cancers can be very reserved when it comes to their feelings, very guarded, because usually they are trying to protect themselves or to protect those they love. And this person will try to protect you if they think that a relationship could cause problems and turmoil in your lives. At this stage, you cannot make this person open up. It will be like hitting a brick wall, and the best course of action is to let them open up by their own volition without pressure from your end. The Chariot can be a Cancer sun or ascendant person in your life who will play a significant role this week, and you will be asked to deal and re-examine issues that came up around the end of June, beginning July. The end of the week seems to hold the strongest energy, so it's around Saturday or Sunday that you will experience the energy of this card the most. For Scorpio, we had the Four of Cups and now it's the Ace of Swords. The Four of Cups is a rather passive energy, it's a slow card, and for some of you it must have manifested as boredom, as apathy, or you wanted something to happen and that took too long, or it didn't happen at all. So despite your efforts, there hasn't been change or progress, and if these passive vibes continue this week, you could probably decide to take the situation in your own 2 hands. And you will take action because the Ace of Swords is a card of action, it's a card of control, and it's also a card of clarifications and clarity. That's why it's very possible that you will get an explanation this week, or someone will make something clear, especially if there has been confusion around your relationship, or you will be asked to give explanations in order to clarify a situation. The Ace of Swords often shows that we decide to cut cords with the past, As all aces show a new beginning, and this one shows a new start, but that new start comes after a disruptive change usually, for instance an ending. So it's very possible that you will decide to move away from a situation that's not working for you, and that's exactly what you should do, especially if under the energy of the Four of Cups you've been waiting for too long for a change that never comes. If you want to know how someone feels about you, the Ace of Swords means that they are trying to figure out what they feel. They are exploring their feelings and they are trying to understand their feelings. They're using their logic to do so. Now, that doesn't always work because logic and emotions are two different realms. So maybe there's this contrast in them, this struggle, an inner struggle that does not allow them to make progress. And it's very possible that there is a drastic change they need to make, and for one reason or another they fail to make it. The Ace of Swords puts emphasis on the start of the week, Monday or Tuesday, when there will be talks, communications, and maybe a very important message that will help you see a situation more clearly. For Sagittarius, we had the Five of Pentacles and now it's the Seven of Pentacles. Last week, the Five of Pentacles points to some sort of lack or loss or an imbalance that must have caused some turmoil, some frustration, and maybe that had to do with your career or your finances because the Five of Pentacles often shows material lack. It's interesting that this week you got the Seven of Pentacles and it's like you make a jump and you skip a stage. The stage of the Six of Pentacles, which is between the 5 and the 7. And the Six of Pentacles is usually something, an event or a new element that brings more balance to a situation. It appears that you skip a stage and you put yourself in a waiting mode because that's basically what the Seven of Pentacles indicates. The Seven of Pentacles is one of the cards that show patience and slow-moving energy. So you will probably realize that there is a situation that cannot progress as fast as you'd like it to, and you will probably decide to give it some time and let it unfold naturally without any more pressure on your end. That's probably because you've already made hard efforts to bring something to a conclusion, to completion, and those efforts have not paid off yet. And that's why you may now decide to let it go for a while and see how it will develop without pressure on your end. If you want to know how someone feels about you, their feelings are getting stronger and they are growing in time. That's a slow process that will test your patience because in many cases you will not be able to understand how they really feel. At times they will appear as if they feel nothing, and at times they will appear as they care a lot. That can be quite confusing, and depending on how much time and how much energy you want to invest in this connection, you will probably decide this week whether you want to continue with them or not. The Seven of Pentacles is astrologically associated with Saturn in Taurus, and Saturn is about restrictions, so you may feel that something or someone is limiting your freedom, especially those freedoms that have to do with things that you enjoy doing, because that's what Taurus represents, its pleasures, its security, it's all those things that make us feel good. But at the same time, it's very possible that you are on the verge of a breakthrough, so no matter what happens, try not to give up and give it some time, because you are going to get results in about 7 days from now. For Capricorn, we had the Page of Pentacles and now it's the Seven of Wands. The Page of Pentacles that you got last week is a new beginning. It's something new that you decided to learn, or it would be related to your career or finances, but it can also be a person who's an earth sign or ascendant, probably someone who's younger than you or who's acting a bit immature. With the Seven of Wands you got this week, it's very possible that this person is quite stubborn or they are causing trouble one way or another. The Seven of Wands shows generally resistance, opposition to your plans, to your ideas, and it's clear that this week you will have to defend yourself. or another person may get defensive as a result of your actions. You will stand your ground, whether it comes to outer influences like opinions that could put you in an uncomfortable position, or you may have to deal with the inner struggle. For that reason, your moods will be volatile and there might be arguments this week. But at the same time, there will be a lot of passion, a lot of sexual energy. Wands are warm fire cards, and they represent all those strong and warm emotions. So the temperature is rising in general. If you want to know how someone feels about you, they are interested in you, there are strong feelings, strong attraction, but at the same time, they don't agree with you on some level. There might be some conflicts between you, and the challenge of this week will possibly be to try and maintain a balance amongst all those different things that are going on. But at the same time, you will find that you do have the courage to go against the odds, since your confidence will help you at this stage, and you will know without a doubt what you can and what you cannot do. The Seven of Wands is Mars in Leo, and that means your words, your actions, and your presence will be very strong, and you will make a strong impression, and whatever you do, you will do it with great pride. Under this influence, you will put your needs first, which is fine as long as you don't become too self-centered or too uncompromising. Sunday is a strong day of this week, so make a note for that day, while something that happened between August 16th to August 25th may stop now or get blocked for a week or so. For Aquarius, we had the Page of Cups and now it's the Temperance. The Page of Cups is a new beginning in love or a love message, something related to relationships that probably made you feel good. Maybe you received something, an invitation to a date or an opportunity arose last week for you to connect with someone you are interested in or with your partner in a more intimate way. The Page of Cups is often a person who's a water sign, Scorpio, Cancer or Pisces or Ascendant, and it's also a new beginning or the opportunity for a fresh start. The Temperance this week will ask you to reassess whether a union or a connection is equal because there are some differences and some contrasts, and maybe at times you feel that you are not really on the same wavelength with someone. You will have to decide whether you can live with those differences and accept them, or you prefer to explore other options that may be more compatible with your current needs and your current energies. The Temperance always involves waiting because it's one of the cards that show that patience is needed for something to happen. But it's about waiting in a way that's productive, not in a way that puts your life on hold, waiting for another to make decisions for you. If you want to know how someone feels about you, they have conflicting feelings for some reason, but they are trying to blend and reconcile those contrasts, which means that they have the intention to work on your relationship, to make effort to improve it. Under the energy of the Temperance, inevitably you will have to make compromises because there is a situation that in order to work out, it needs constant adjustments. Make a note for the days between November the 21st and December the 22nd, as there will be significant developments then, so if things aren't going the way you want them to go, don't hesitate to try new things and to make adjustments. But whatever you do, do it in moderation. This week you may be asked to help someone resolve a conflict, or a third person may act as a mediator who will help you resolve a conflict between you and another person. The Temperance has a time frame of about 2 weeks, which means that the situation and the energies you're experiencing now will change in about 15 days. For Pisces, we had the King of Cups and now it's the Nine of Pentacles. The King of Cups you got last week is a card of love, so maybe last week your focus was in your relationships and your love life. The King of Cups is a male who's a water sign or ascendant, Scorpio, Pisces or Cancer, and it's someone with whom you have a very strong connection. Now this week you have the Knight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles is an earth sign or ascendant person, Capricorn, Virgo or Taurus, and Pentacles court cards in general predict more stability in situations because they are strong, solid earth cards, and they generally stabilize relationships. The only problem with the Knight of Pentacles is that he moves slowly. This means that this person will make moves towards you, but their efforts will be slow. If you want to know how someone feels about you, they are a bit reserved at the moment because they want everything to be perfect and they want to be sure that they are not repeating mistakes they did in the past. They want to know that they are making the right decision. That's especially true if you have a history with this person and there have been some ups and downs and some disruptions in the past, and they now have to move slowly without pressure or rush. That means if you attempt to push or force a relationship with them, that will probably backfire and things will start moving even more slowly and there will be delays and resistance. There will be good news involving your career or your money, as the Knight of Pentacles is related to those areas of your life. But avoid jumping into situations blindly, particularly if you haven't figured out what something is all about. So matters of property and investments are now favored, so this is a good time to buy or sell something or to look for a new job, but again, try not to make bold moves. The Knight of Pentacles gives the message that something has the potential to grow and become a solid and long-lasting connection. But in order for that to happen, you need to be patient and you need to go through all those stages and to take all those slow steps so that you make a strong and long-lasting foundation to build upon. So these were the weekly tarot horoscopes for the week of October the 17th to October the 23rd. I hope you find them helpful and I wish you a fantastic week. See you again next week.